Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is one of those where I started doing another video and I had another project going on at the same time, and it hit me that I probably ought to make a video on this part too. And I didn't want to include it into the one video I made about color matching because this is totally different. And the reason I say that is color matching chrome. Now, a lot of people are going to tell you can't do it, and they are right and wrong at the same time. This is more of me showing you how I color match chrome. It's not ideal, but if you're gonna do it, in the case of what I'm doing here with my Duramax bumper, which is chrome, the rear bumper's chrome, it's hard to find the primered ones, and you have to worry about fitment. We're gonna try to color match chrome. It's a little bit more labor intensive than color matching the plastic like you saw because of the steps involved, but I'm gonna go into it, show you guys how I do it, and hopefully the finished product comes out pretty good. All right, so you're gonna have to ignore the compressor running in the background. We need the compressor because I've actually already started here. If you see here, I'm already started sanding the bumper down. Now, what I'm doing is I am sanding the bumper down with an 80 grit right now. So going over and it's sanding it. Got to sand the whole thing down with 80 grit. Then I'm going to come back over it with 180. Then I'm going to hit it with 320. And then I'll get into the next step after that. So you can see here, I've got my work cut out for me to sand this one down and that one down. Thankfully, I've got a nice sander. But to start with, when you get your bumpers, first thing you do, of course, take them off vehicle, hit them with 80, 180, 320, and that's so we can go back kind of smooth with it. That's why, 80 grit is really coarse, and you move up to 180, then 320. You might could get away with just hitting it with 180 afterwards, but I have 320, so I might as well go ahead and try to do it the best I can. So that is step one to color matching chrome. Let me finish sanding this bumper and I'll show you step two. All right, guys, so I've got this sanded down. Like I said, it was 80 grit, 180 grit, then 320 grit. And you see here, it's all sanded down. It's kind of got a satin look to it. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to rinse it off. And then I'm going to use a degreaser. You can use, any type of degreaser, and even Dawn doesn't work too bad. Get you Scotch-Brite. So just like a 3M Scotch-Brite or anything, any other brand. And I got a bucket of water here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse it off, spray it down with degreaser, and then come back and scuff the whole thing with the Scotch-Brite, and then rinse it back off really good. And that's step two, and that's an important step because that's going to get off any type of like silicone, wax, grease, or anything that could still be on the bumpers even after you've sanded them down. You haven't necessarily degreased them, and you could cause fisheye and other unwanted side effects from painting them if there was to be grease, wax, or anything else on them. So that is step two, and once I do that, I'll pick up the camera and show you guys step three. All right, guys, so you see here, it's all sanded down. We washed it off, scuffed it really good. The next step, you see here, I've already got it up on a bumper stand. Make sure you elevate it. That way you can get up into the underneath of it and down in the seams of the bumper. You don't want to be painting on it when it's up against the bumper stand, because if you're trying to paint right there, you're going to be stuck to the bumper stand right there. So what I'm going to do next is I got some surface cleaner here, wax and grease remover, and a rag, and put your gloves on because your hands have grease on them. I'm going to wipe the bumpers down, the grill over there, and the little piece for the hood with the surface cleaner. Go over it. You don't have to dump it all over the bumpers, but wet the rag down, wipe over it really good. This is an important step because this is the last line of the fence against any grease you may still have on the bumpers, whether from your hand or something else that's gotten on it, before you spray to try to prevent fish eyes. So I'm going to wipe this thing down, surface cleaner, and I'll pick back up the camera and show you guys the next step. Alrighty, guys, so I've got it all wiped down. Now the next step is the best way and the best attempt that we know to try to get paint to stick to chrome, and that is an epoxy primer. It kind of gives us the best chance of the paint actually sticking and lasting to this. Remember what I said, this is kind of an experiment by me, because everyone's going to tell you you can't paint over chrome. Not a good idea. If you can avoid painting over chrome, like I said, do so, but we're going to try it today. And we're going to start with an epoxy primer. We're going to spray the two bumpers and the grill. And the grill is definitely probably going to be the piece that I'm worried about the most, because this is like plastic dipped chrome. So the epoxy, truly important on that. And it's the only thing I know that can try to get paint to stick to chrome. So keep that in mind. If you're going to spray it, it's not going to last if you're just going to spray base right over chrome. Get yourself some primer, preferably epoxy primer. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and spray this, and I'll pick up the camera once I spray it. Alrighty guys, so there's the epoxy primer put on the bumpers. You can see they're no longer chrome, they are gray. The primer was gray. So there's the hood piece, the bumpers, and up here is the grill. So now that we have sprayed this sealer, our next step is going to be what we call the base. And the base is the actual color. That is the white that we're going to be spraying on here. So spray the base, may take a couple coats to do the base, and then you spray clear, and then that's it. So we're not even close to done yet. We put the epoxy primer on here, spray the base, which is the actual color. And once we do that, I'll pick up the camera and I'll try to get some shots of actually spraying the color on there. So I'm sure you guys kind of want to see how it's done. So I'll try to do my best to get you guys some footage of that. Alright guys, so the base is laid here on the bumpers. You see they are white, but they are not shiny. The clear is what's going to add all that shine to it because it's kind of flat white right now. So they came out really good, and they're, of course, solid white. And it kind of goes without saying, mask off anything that you do not want to be painted. Like the black honeycomb, I didn't want it to be painted, so you got to mask it off. So we've got the base on here, did 2 coats of base, and then we're going to spray the clear. That is the next step and the final step. So the clear is the hardest thing to spray. I mean, I don't know your proficiency level with painting, but that is the most difficult part. But that's what makes the dream work. That's what makes it look really good. So I'll pick up the camera once we clear, and we'll pretty much be done. By that point, it's just going to have to sit here and cure and all that. So I'll pick up the camera in just a minute. Alrighty guys, so there it is. That is your finished product. That is after it's been cleared, and you can see how nice and shiny and reflective it all is. And it's still a little bit tacky, so I don't want to touch it. But depending on what clear you use, you got to read the tech sheet, figure out how long you're going to have to let it sit before you can handle it, or let it get any dust in it or stuff like that. But it came out awesome. Every single piece did. And there's your hood piece. So, biggest thing to note and to do when you're painting pieces like this, like the chrome, prep is key. If you don't prep it good, nothing's going to stick to it good. It's going to look bad from the get-go. Of course, you can mess it up during the whole paint deal and all that, but the biggest thing is prep. So what I did, just to recap everything that I did, sanded it 80, 180, 320, then degreased it, wiped it down with a Scotch-Brite, then I washed it, rinsed it off and all stuff like that. Brought it in here, got it on the stand, wiped it down with wax and grease remover. Then we laid the epoxy primer over it. Then we based, then we cleared. So I think the biggest things to note there is sanding it down and the epoxy primer. Those are the two things that you really need to do, because the epoxy, I think, is what's helping it adhere to it since we're painting chrome. And I guess stay tuned to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see how long it holds up. Wintertime is coming up, so it's going to have to kind of brave salt and all that other stuff, the elements on the road. So we'll see how well it holds up. It looks like it laid down pretty good. I think it's going to hold up pretty good. So stay tuned to the channel. But any questions you got, you can drop them down in the comment section below, or follow me over on Instagram at Austin04_Z71. You can DM me if you got any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. I appreciate you guys watching. Take care. Have a great day.